Football fans, Adam Schefter here. You know me for breaking news around the league, and I just received a tip. Vivid Seats is offering ESPN fans 10% off football tickets, but you have to act fast. Head to vividseats.com and enter promo code ESPN at checkout to receive 10% off your first order. Vivid Seats is the official ticket partner of ESPN, and with their 100% buyer guarantee, there's no reason to miss a game this year. Don't wait. This offer ends soon.
Guaranteeing promotional terms available on vividseats.com.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom, boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do?
We get the people what they want.
Happy Monday, everybody listening to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast. You remember the summer we were doing like 1 or 2 pods a week?
I know.
We're 5 days a week now.
We was cheating.
We're full swing. We got the NBA season starts tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
Big week in the NFL. We will get to all that. Jimmy Butler might play for the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns can't be happy about that. We'll be getting to all that. But before we get into it, let's talk about Michigan football.
Hail to the victors.
They look good in the win.
So when Michigan lost opening game to Notre Dame, it gave a lot of people the opportunity to try to feel like this was going to be a lost season.
Well, expectations are high. Remember, we always talk about expectations. This year for the Michigan Wolverines football, the expectations are high.
Correct. And so instead of scheduling a cupcake that we could beat 55-3, we scheduled Notre Dame. For some strange reason, they didn't want to play us the last few years because they were running. But then they put us back on the schedule, and they did get a win.
And the better Notre Dame looks, the better Michigan looks because of it.
Correct. And now all of a sudden, as they continue to ascend and Shea Patterson gets more comfortable at quarterback, now the path is clear.
There's some bumps in that road.
No doubt. But if Michigan beats State, Penn State, and Ohio State, we got to handle these state schools.
Those are 3 big games. Those are 3 big games.
The big university, we got to handle the state schools.
Yeah, Michigan State didn't look good 2 weeks ago, but they look good this weekend.
Yep. And so it's realistic for that to take place, being ranked 6th in the AP right now, right behind LSU. It's
got to win those 3 games. Those are big games.
No question. And so just know if Michigan finds a way to the BCS championship, our program must be there.
Yep. Oh, our program, Jalen and Jacoby?
Must be there.
You sure you're allowed to travel? Aren't you on some sort of travel restrictions?
Well, I'll be there.
You can't go anywhere because of the NBA countdown job, and you got the get up job, and you're married now, and all that.
Let me tell you
I feel like we got to send an email with 20 people on it just to go out to dinner.
Let me tell you something. I love being at home, talking about sports, laying in the bed with my wife, and she's like, Blake Bortles stinks.
She's just out of nowhere. Yeah.
No doubt. Out of nowhere. So we're good there. Now, as it relates to countdown responsibilities, we don't have shows around the first of the year, January, for this exact reason, because it's time to promote the BCS. And so our program should find a way to be present when Michigan plays in the BCS Final Four.
I always say this. Let's not have a problem until it's a problem. So I don't know if we need to start booking hotels yet.
Just got a plan.
Let's see how it goes with the Ohio State game.
Well, that's the final game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Let's see how it goes with the Ohio State game.
You always like that? Yeah. They're good. They're really good.
Yes.
They're really
Let's see how that goes. That might be the one that trips you guys.
But I have to say this because I don't think we're talking about this on the program. But for those,
how do you not know what we're talking about in the program, Mr. Rose? How do you not know that information?
The reason why, because I work for a national sports outlet, and on Monday we regurgitate and we break down everything that happened in the NFL, and we completely ignore one of my favorite things: boxing.
Oh, okay. Friend of the show, Terrence Crawford.
No doubt. And the last time I checked, Bud Crawford closed the show the other night against Benavidez Jr. And so for an Abbott fight fan like myself, I appreciated Andre Ward in the second round say, I see Benavidez coming forward. He's being aggressive. But Terrence is the kind of savvy fighter that's going to figure it out and find a way to take him out late. And then he mentioned it again in the 10th round as Benavidez started leaning up against the ropes. He was really fatigued. When you start to smile when somebody's punching you, that really means you're injured. It's just a matter of time before they can close the show. And when he went to his corner in the 12th, they distinctly gave him instructions. Of course, if you see an opening, take it. But other than that, you could just song and dance this round and we're going to get out of here with a victory. I appreciated the fact that he closed the deal with the KO. And here's why. I wanted to tweet and or IG some of this, but I didn't want the message to get lost. So you get my thoughts fresh on the pod. I watch a lot of Belly.
Oh, great film. Underrated film.
So
there are some questionable performances in terms of thespianic technicalities.
No doubt.
Like, no one can act in there, but it looks good.
No doubt.
It looks good.
Because I figure all of my favorite movies either have a comedian and or a rapper in them anyway. So I figured that out. But as the fight started, the first thing I wanted to tweet, but I didn't want it to come off the wrong way because, you know, I didn't have enough characters. Maybe I should have went live.
No.
I was so enthusiastic about things taking place in Nebraska. Like it did in Belly.
Yeah.
And I wondered what people like Terrence Crawford, who grew up there.
Oh, so you the realist.
Felt about that movie because I was enthusiastic that they took operations there. And I appreciated when they were like, is this the illest in Nebraska? That probably was Bud Crawford.
Who delivers that line?
Meth, friend of the show.
By the name of Method Man. Great actor.
Shout out.
One of the only real actors in that film. And guess what he's not in? How High 2. We got over, I haven't checked. I bet we got 5,000 signatures on the petition now. We got to get him.
And let me just show you guys how good karma continues to work for itself. Our fine producer, Harlan Endelman, happened to be traveling over the weekend. And guess who he ran into on an airplane?
Last name Man, first name Method.
How about this? Harlan runs onto the airplane and he runs into Method Man. And of course, Tacalian Stallion, friend of the program, producer of J&J, along with Reggie Noble, of course. He knows about the petition.
He does.
And
he said thank you.
Being such a professional, he didn't complain about not being in the movie.
No. And
he didn't say anything
being professional,
about it.
Harlan Endelman kept it moving, just like the segment. You know, if you're talking to Method Man, you keep it moving. If you see somebody in the street, you spread love and keep it moving.
But here's what you don't do. When I turn my head, don't take a picture of the side of my head. Don't take a picture of the back of my head.
Jalen really doesn't enjoy this.
This is the only thing I don't like.
You're never rude to strangers.
When I get on this soapbox in person, too.
You're never rude to strangers, except when they take a picture of you without your permission. But you have to understand, some people are scared to talk to you, and then maybe they don't want to tweet it or whatever. Maybe they're just like intimidated by you.
No, but
they don't want to talk to you.
But here's what you do.
They just want to document it.
But here's what you do, though. There's so many people that are notable to me that I'm fans of, that I support, that I would be in awe to meet. But guess what I wouldn't want them to see me doing? Sneaking and taking a picture of them without their authorization.
I understand. So
I am not a zoo animal.
There's a sports thing I want to talk about that's not in the rundown.
Okay. Can I get on one more Darrelle Revis thing?
No.
I have to say it real quick.
You've already done it 3 times.
I'm gonna show y'all the picture.
Oh, God.
I took a picture. I'm going to forward it to you, Reg. I'm going to forward it to you, Harlan. I need to launch an investigation. I was watching the Red Sox take care of business over the weekend. Going back and forth with the Astros. That's a terrific series.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Of course you were.
It could have worked.
Of course you were. But I saw our very own Tim Kirchin, who does an amazing job with this network, doing SportsCenter.
Always gets followed by.
Shout out.
He was wearing my tie. I moved from Bristol. I had a cubicle. I had multiple shirts. I had multiple ties. had multiple blazers that were supposed to get shipped to me. A lot of those items never arrived. Now, this is the kangaroo Jalen phase, so I can't front. When I got some of those items, I kindly and gently donated them.
Donated them in Connecticut?
I donated some in Los Angeles. I donated some in Michigan.
Okay.
To a few organizations. I had a lot of suits.
But some items didn't make the trip.
This was one of my favorite ties. I took a picture of it. I guarantee you, if you give him some sodium pentothal, that's truth serum. Learn that from Doug Collins. And you say, where did you get that pink and blue and black tie that you were wearing over the weekend? He could not tell you where he purchased it. He could not. I don't know if he forgot his tie that day.
This is controversial.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm glad about this one. So you're saying into a microphone,
yes,
that one of our colleagues,
yes,
legendary broadcaster Tim Kirchin, stole your tie.
I'm not saying that he physically stole it or he physically knows where it came from. I'm saying that
somehow it came in his possession.
That he did not buy it and he was wearing it on SportsCenter.
So there's probably like a wardrobe closet somewhere in Bristol on campus where people pull from, where there's various shirts and ties. If you spill while you're at the cafeteria, you go to somewhere by the makeup room and they say, don't worry about it, we got you. Here's a pink and blue one.
Correct.
You spill coffee all over your satin pink tie. There's no way you can go to air with that. So they've got extra ties around. They might have been lying on the floor of a cubicle after a move, just got scooped up somehow. And Tim Kirchin wore Jalen Rose's tie on SportsCenter.
Correct.
Okay. Well, first of all, you've worn all of my opinions on Countdown.
I like what you did.
Yeah, without getting credit. But this is interesting. We need to find out the truth.
I need to get Bob Lee on this.
I don't want to waste Bob time. You know how special Bob is to me.
I need help.
You know how special Bob is to me.
I need help. I just sent you guys the picture, and this is the reason why I remember.
You sent it to me?
Yes. This is the reason why I remember. One, it was one of my favorite ties. I used to rock it on Numbers Never Lie all of the time. Two, I can tie a tie, but I'm not great at Windsor knots.
No. You can't tie a tie, Doug. Just say the truth into the microphone.
I can tie a tie. I'm just not great at it. That's different. I can tie a tie.
Do you tie all your own ties?
I'm not great at it.
Okay, but when you go on Countdown, is that tie tied by Jalen Rose? Just be honest with the people.
25% of the time.
And the other 75% of the time?
My brother.
And it's also pre-tied. I know this move. When you have a nice knot, you just undo it a little bit, take it on over the head, and it'll be like that forever.
And I have to do it for two reasons. One, that's less chance of messing up my hair.
No, I know your hair is very important to you.
That's less. You got to have it already tied.
Very important.
I am not trying to put it on and off my head 4 or 5 times because that's how accidents take place.
If I took this brush in the studio and just brushed your hair backwards, what would happen?
It wouldn't matter today because I ain't get a cut.
Oh, I know. I noticed.
I don't care.
Oh, no, don't do that.
I don't care.
Okay.
It looks a lot different.
Can we get back to Tim Kirchin?
Yeah.
So where does he get this tie?
He doesn't even know it's mine.
I have items of clothing like that.
He doesn't even.
I have items of clothing like that.
The reason why I remember is two reasons. I called myself being one of the founding members of the Pink phase after Dipset and Cam in them, as my handsome colleague is wearing a pink shirt and a blazer that looks like mine, which reminded me of the Tim Kirchin allegation. But also, it was a major Windsor knot that my brother tied. And I purposely kept that tie.
Like your actual brother?
My actual brother, Kevin.
Kevin?
Yes.
Okay.
So I know for a fact that's my tie.
And it was the same knot?
Yes.
Oh, that's your tie. That's your tie. No, here's the thing though. Tim Kirchin, not 6'8". So if he was wearing that tie with that same knot, that means that the bottom of his tie is like around his knees. You can't do that.
Correct. I just sent it to you.
You can't do that on TV.
I just sent it to you.
Yet. This is exciting. We have a new investigation to launch. Please help us get to the bottom of this.
Make sure you at Tim Kirchin on social media.
Don't bother Bob Lee. He's on sabbatical right now.
Yeah, don't bother Bob.
Don't bother Uncle Bob.
And by the way, this is just fun chatter that we just like to bring personality-wise on our show.
I also just want to say this.
But I definitely want to talk to HR about
I came into the studio with this jacket on. Jalen Rose was, is that my jacket? I got the same jacket. Like, dog, I'm not going to wear your jacket. And plus, I'm skinnier than you. Let's give people what they want.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
The Patriots did not waver. Last night, they were down late in a back-and-forth game. Mahomes scoring. Brady scoring.
Mahomes, man?
The Patriots scoring. It was such a good game. There's Mahomes with an accidental touchdown throw. I do not think he meant to throw that to Tyreek Hill in the back of the end zone. Edelman catching balls. Brady sneaking in himself. It was such a great game. This score here tied the game at 40, but if you look at the clock, 3 minutes in Foxborough. Tom Brady to Gronkowski. You know how this ends. Gronkowski leads to Goskowski. Right in between the uprights. What a game. Now, this was for the who is the best team in the AFC rights. And do you think the Patriots solidified themselves with this victory as the best team in the AFC?
Well, as long as Bill Belichick is on the sideline and Tom Brady is able to stand upright as a 41-year-old quarterback and play at an MVP level, you have to consider the Patriots until you see somebody just beat them to the point where they're walking off the field and their heads are down. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, you're trying to integrate Josh Gordon. You get Edelman back. Sony Michel continues to get more comfortable in their offense.
He looked bad early in the season. He looked pretty good last night.
So because of those dynamics and their defense continues to improve as the season continues to progress, they're going to be in the conversation. The one thing that stands out to me, however, Gronk looks hobbled.
He doesn't look the same. He caught one pass in the first half, and you're wondering, like, I was watching him, not even going out for routes, singing and blocking a lot. It was an odd Gronkowski night.
Well, I talked about it on this program, not because he isn't a terrific tight end. I just felt like the accumulations of hits based on his salary that they should consider trading him. And, of course, they considered trading him to my team, the Detroit Lions, and I would not have been happy about it.
And one thing that stood out to me watching this game was Gronkowski's counterpoint, someone who has replaced him as the best tight end in football, Kelsey. Belichick always does this, and we've been saying this for a decade. He takes away your best weapon, and you didn't see too much Kelsey last night during that game at all either. Like, they can scheme against teams, but you can't scheme against Tyreek Hill being the fastest person on the planet.
Correct. And also, you can scheme against a player, but the KC squad has weapons.
So many.
I mean, you got Mahomes, who's a threat to not only throw the deep ball, but also scramble out of the pocket. And then you talk about Hunt. And then you got Tyreek Hill, had 3 touchdowns. And so that level of explosiveness gets us a 43-40 game on Sunday Night Football, which we're enthusiastic to watch.
And you know me, I want to go to bed early. I want to go to bed early. But with the Red Sox game and the Patriots game last night, it was just, I had to stay up past my bedtime. It was such a good game. I do think this, though. I think the Chiefs walk away pretty happy from that. I think they walk away pretty, like, Foxborough crowd, night game. They were down early. They came back, got up by a touchdown late, tie game, responded. Like, I feel like the Chiefs walk away from this saying, you know what? We'll see them in the playoffs. And you know what? Our record is better than their record. We might see them in the playoffs in Kansas City, and let's see what the score is at the end of that game.
Well, I agree with you. In theory, you have a redshirt rookie and Mahomes playing quarterback. He's only going to get more experience. And also, Belichick has feasted on inexperienced rookie-type quarterbacks throughout his career and scheming and beating them. So as he continues to gain more experience, and here's a key that I need to see happen for KC. First and foremost, people sleep on the fact, I believe they were going to get Earl Thomas. And then he got injured. But one thing will happen, they're going to get Eric Berry back. And he's an all-pro safety. He's going to help shore up a lot of holes that they have defensively.
There were a lot of holes in the secondary last night. Another big AFC game. The Steelers against the Bengals. 2 teams that had been playing well coming into this one. The Steelers ended up on top. It was a close game, and it came down to something that we've seen before. First, we see James Conner. Just get off of me! Get off of me again! Keep running. Le'Veon Bell himself tweeted in response to that particular play. James Conner has been playing well for the past couple weeks in replace of Le'Veon and getting into the end zone. But there was also this play It'll pick play, whatever you want to call it, but we've seen it before. Antonio Brown scampering into the end zone at the very end of the game, leaving just 10 seconds on the clock, and a victory for the Steelers. There's a lot of directions to go with this, but let's just start here. Steelers say they haven't heard from Le'Veon Bell. What happens with this? Is Le'Veon Bell going to come back this week as it was reported he would?
If I had to guess, yes. And you guys don't have to hear from me until today. When I show up at the facility when everybody else is enjoying their bye week and I'm with the trainers, I'm making sure that I'm working out with the guys in the weight room. But you know what's more important? I'm getting that playbook and I'm immersing myself into it. And lastly, you know what else I'm really doing? I'm picking up my paycheck. For the first time this season, I get my $800,000 paycheck.
Well, I mean, the bye week is the right time to do this because he does have to, like you said, it's not the exact same playbook as last year. He has to work himself into shape. The bye week's the perfect time to do this. And don't you think he splits carries with Connor in the first couple weeks?
Yeah, he splits carries because even though Le'Veon has produced well as the season continued to progress, for the last 6 years, he didn't play week 1. So if you look at his stats in those years, he continued to struggle based on his normal productivity in September. So it's going to take him time to actually get back up to all-pro level running back. But also, if you're the Steelers, there's two things at play. One, he ain't the future. Connor is. It's going to be his last year with the squad. Yeah. So you're not going to just totally just phase Connor out, make him go hold a clipboard, so to speak, and not give him any carries, knowing that Le'Veon's not going to be there next year. And couple that with the fact that he's played really well, in particular the last 2 weeks, where he has a total of 4 touchdowns.
Well, the Raiders, they kind of stink. They kind of stink. They're 1-5 after this week. They
fans of Oakland like they can leave this year. Yeah, you know what I mean? They can leave this year. Y'all going to Vegas? Y'all can leave right now.
Go ahead. And they brought that stink into a game against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks just waxed them. It was one of those games that didn't feel like it was ever in jeopardy with the Seahawk victory. And if you're on the Raiders, you go through the motions and you get done with the game and you're in your locker room and, the reporters start to ask you where your head's at. And they did that to Bruce Irvin, and let's just listen to how Mr. Irvin responded.
We lost, but I got a beautiful wife I get to go home to, boy. We're going to try and make some babies, man.
I got a beautiful wife I'm going to go home to, boy. Going to try to make some babies, man. I understood him with the first part, but I got too many kids, so no. What do you think about Mr. Irvin's post-game response?
This is classic of what I like to discuss into microphones for public consumption. It's the score of the game, and it's the game of life. Mm-hmm. And here's a professional football player. He could have went on a rant about what the organization
complained about play calls and the offense.
What the offense isn't.
Rumors of Amari Cooper getting traded.
I'm not getting fined and losing money from my check because they decided to trade our best player. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to mess up my reputation, my image for a squad that they're shopping Amari Cooper. What? Mm-hmm. So let me get this right. Here's a guy that I saw be a terrific wide receiver. Just like I saw
the same quarterback they have right now
be a defensive player of the year. You don't improve by trading your best players. Michael Crabtree is balling with the Ravens.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Wildly. So I really just don't understand what the Raiders are trying to do. What I will say,
I know what Bruce Irvin's trying to do.
No question.
I know what he's trying to do. I understand what Bruce Irvin's trying to do.
I ain't mad at him at all. But here's the thing. When was that game played again? Wembley Stadium?
I believe it was in London, yep.
Okay. Other than watching Russell Wilson get 3 touchdowns, I like to apologize to the people of Europe. Okay.
The uniforms look good. The team does not.
Because that's the product we sending. So also, they come from the furthest distance. They come from the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast to fly all the way through the East to all the way through Europe. Watch those two squads play.
To do that?
Like, who's scheduling those games? I know nobody wants to go during the season, but come on, we got to give them a better product than that.
I just want to hope. Someone mark this date. 9.5, 10 months. I want Bruce Irvin to have a child. Like, from this date. From this date. The thing about college football is whether you are Jalen's Michigan Wolverines or any other team, sometimes it's just the harder you work, the further you go. You put in the hours and the reps and the heart at practice and offseason and payday. It all prepares you for game day. Goodyear knows all about this. They know all about the kind of focus and preparation that you need to perform when you need to perform. They put in the hard work to make sure that tires are ready to go when you put them on your vehicle. Because when you're driving on the road, every day is game day. Every turn you make, every time you hit the gas pedal, everything is important, just like a college football game. Every down is important. Every move that Goodyear makes to prepare their tires is important. So when it comes to choosing tires, go to Goodyear.com and let Goodyear help choose what's best to help you go further. Just like Jalen hopes the Michigan Wolverines will go further and then not lose to Michigan State and then lose to Penn State and then lose to Ohio State, which is
not going to be able to do it.
Very much in play. Goodyear.com. Let Goodyear help you choose tires.
Did you know ADT can design and install a smart home just for you? A new smart home at your service, customized for your lifestyle. ADT professionals can even show you how to use your new smart home features. Now, that's what I call warm-up service. It's all controlled from the ADT app or the sound of your voice and backed by 24/7 protection. Visit ADT.com/smart to learn more about how ADT can help keep your home safe and smart.
The best team in the NFC, the Rams, continue to be undefeated. They were tested a little at the end of this game, but they beat the Broncos. Todd Gurley had a career high. Jalen Rose, what do you think about Gurley and his 208 yards rush?
Let's give a shout to their offensive line, because if you notice, he's not being touched a lot of times until he's 5 yards up the field. And this is the best back in the NFL. And I appreciate, I applaud something. It's one of my favorite things in football that has returned. People diminished this for a few years, and all of a sudden, the return of the 3-down running back. Todd Gurley, Barkley,
Jalen,
Ezekiel Elliott.
I know why you love this. You love this for your fantasy team because you spend way too much money on fantasy.
I love
we gotta move
that
on.
The 3-down back has returned.
The Cowboys, inspired by Conor McGregor, host and beat the Jaguars, who looked bad. But here's Conor. He also looked bad throwing that football. And then after scores, we had the Cowboys doing the Conor McGregor walk. Dak Prescott, after what should have been a touchdown, which wasn't, he ran it in himself. What do you think about the new Cowboys?
I have a word for what I saw from Dallas yesterday, pride.
Okay.
Because the last time I checked, the New York Football Giants have more talent than they do.
Debatable.
They have more talent.
Debatable.
The Giants have more talent than Washington and Dallas. But those two teams didn't quit.
The Giants do not have a lot of talent on the offensive line.
I appreciate that Dallas showed an identity. 42 rushes, 27 passes, and a level of genius of getting Conor McGregor involved so that now
gotta move on.
Created a personality for that win.
Gotta move on. Staying in the NFC East, the Washington team beat the Panthers. The Panthers 3-2, not looking great.
My takeaway from this game is really how Josh Norman got a pick and he forced a fumble against his former squad. And I love seeing him and Cam have their level of banter. But again, Washington, I appreciate how they just were more physical than the Panthers. Now, I saw my nephew, however, out there catch a great little one-hand touchdown in the end zone for the Panthers. But ultimately, you got to give Washington a lot of credit. They took it to them.
They did. The NFC East didn't look as bad this week as they had previously. Moving on, the Dolphins, led by Brock Osweiler, defeat the up-and-down Bears in Miami. What do you think about Brock and Tannehill and controversy? It seems like the coach wasn't sure if he was going to play or not.
This shows me that they're a well-coached football team. It also shows me that pump the brakes on the Bears bandwagon right now.
Defense is good.
Their defense is good, but they're not the Super Bowl winning Ravens or the 85 Bears or the Buccaneers. They're not those defenses that won the Super Bowl with pedestrian offenses just yet.
And listen, I don't think too many people that weren't in Minnesota watched this entire game, because going into any game against the Cardinals, you don't expect the Cardinals to win, but especially not against Kirk Cousins and these Vikings. What did you take away from this game and the Vikings' performance, who are now 3-2-1?
They have a terrific offensive line, and without Delvin Cook, Latavius Murray still put up big numbers rushing the football. Cousins has been a terrific addition to their football team, living up to the hype and to his contract. The Cardinals, 49ers, the Raiders, these are just teams that when you see them on your schedule, that should be a win.
You should. And one thing I loved about this game, Kirk Cousins with the talk before the game, getting everybody fired up. When we shoot, we score. When they shoot, we score. Whatever he said, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I'm a sucker for that stuff. It gives me adrenaline. It gives me an adrenaline rush. The Falcons, who are 1-4 going into this game against the Buccaneers, beat the Buccaneers. Both teams each have 2 wins. 2 pretty disappointing franchises thus far. What do you take away from this one?
My takeaway is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should tread lightly on paying Jameis Winston to be their franchise quarterback moving forward. The other thing I take away is, while the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm saying this right, so at me, the Kansas City Chiefs have weapons, right?
Yes.
I'll go on wax and say the Falcons have more. Julio, Sanu, Ridley, Hooper, Freeman, Coleman, Smith out of the backfield. They have more productive players than any team offensively in the league. You know what they should do? Probably trade some of those assets and help the other side of the football.
I like it, Mr. Rose. Rarely do you have actual evidence to back up your opinions. Great job by you. Moving on. Quietly becoming one of the best teams in the AFC. The Chargers beat the Browns. I'm kind of high on the Chargers right now. I'd buy up all the Chargers stock right now. Like they're going to win a playoff game. What do you think?
Not only are they going to win the playoff game, but I could say if I had to pick an NFC if I had to pick who's going to play against the Patriots until somebody beats them in the AFC Championship, I would say the Chargers.
You would say the Chiefs.
I would say the Chargers.
You would say the Chiefs. I know you'd be wrong if you said the Chargers.
No, because
I would say the Chargers could be the 3rd best team in the AFC, but they are not the 2nd best team.
Can I tell you what the Chargers can do that the Patriots and or Chiefs can't do? Play defense. And they're going to get Joey Bosa back. And they're explosive on offense. Everything you say on the A side about Todd Gurley, you can flip to the B side and say about Melvin Gordon.
Moving on. New York Jets. They beat the Colts. The Colts aren't the most formidable opponent, but the Jets put up 42 points, 21 of which were field goals. 7 field goals. Positive or negative stat?
Positive stat. Shout to Jason Myers in an era where you can't rely on kickers to make extra points, to go 7 for 7. And also for the Jets, who now will continue the conversation in New York in particular of whether the Giants should have taken Darnold versus Barkley. I'm not mad at the Barkley pick. I would have taken Saquon as well because I think he's a 3-down transformational player. But when you miss on a quarterback, it does set your franchise back for some years.
You know who didn't miss on the quarterback this week? The Ravens. The Ravens sacked Marcus Mariota 11 times. I'm going to say it again. 11 times he was sacked. Do you know how many points the Titans scored in this matchup, Mr. Rose?
0. 0
points. They played all of that football and did not get a field goal, not a turnover that put them in field goal range. I think at one point in the game I was watching, they had 3 plays past the 50-yard line. It was in the 4th quarter.
All I know is this.
One was a punt.
I love the way the AFC has shaped up.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about it, Mr. Rose.
Of course, you got to mention the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Chargers.
Steelers.
And then the next level is Steelers, Bengals playing good football. And I'm going to put the Ravens in that conversation.
I think they deserve to be there. The Ravens have had some great games, and they've had some bad games. And one team we're not talking about in the AFC, the Texans beat the Bills. Who cares, right?
For the Texans.
Oh, Peterman's in the game. What's that mean? Pick 6.
I appreciate the fact that they got a chance to play against Nathan Peterman. Why is somebody continuing to trot this man out there to play quarterback for their squad?
It's just a lack of options. You know,
it's not a lack of options.
Josh Allen went down. And
it's not a lack of options.
Peterman's 2nd pick.
You could go get one of the Cardinals quarterbacks.
Oh,
you could go get Teddy Bridgewater. You could go get anybody. Don't
so, Jalen, you know I'm a Die Easy fan, right?
Colin Kaepernick. A Die Easy fan.
I'm a Die Easy fan.
Period.
I don't have hard, lifelong loyalty towards the sports team that I support.
Or your barber.
However, I always rock for the Red Sox. And the Red Sox, I don't hang on every regular season game. You know, I keep a tab. Oh, we're winning more than we've ever won before? Huh, we're pretty good. I guess I'm going to pick them up in the playoffs.
I guess that's called keeping a tab.
I've watched all of the playoff games. Last night's game started by David Price, who has never started and won a professional baseball game in 10 tries.
Can I say something that you will like?
I don't think I'm going to like it.
David Price, Mookie Betts, friends of our program that I'm going to try to get to come on during these playoffs for you.
Okay. During the playoffs might be a tough ask, unless they get bounced by the Astros. I think they're a little busy.
They're going to be playing for a while.
I think they're a little busy. But last night's game was excellent. It was tight. It was back and forth. Finally, the Red Sox pulled off what I would say is definitely a must-win victory when the first two games are in Boston. I just want the Red Sox faithful to know that while I am not loyal, I am pulling for the Red Sox, intently watching every inning.
Well, somebody that is loyal, and he has no problems showing that he's not objective at all, is the founder of this program, the Podfather.
Shout out.
Yeah.
He clearly, during Patriot, Red Sox, Celtics games, has Twitter fingers.
The last button,
unapologetically.
The last button on my remote was great last night. Just to go back and forth between the Patriots game and the Red Sox game. Not seeing any commercials. When they were both in break, that's when you go get a snack. It was great. It was a great watching experience last night.
What I will say, probably since, I guess, the early 2000s, I haven't seen a city, a town, celebrate more championships than Boston, now that I think about this. Right? So you got the Bruins.
New York had it for a while with the Yankees and the Giants.
You got the Bruins. No, ho. The Giants have won 2 ever.
Yeah.
The Red Sox have won 3 recent.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Yankees have 27 overall.
Say, Jalen.
But all of you guys' squads were like Celtics winning it, Patriots winning it, Bruins
won once.
So it's been a good run to be a die easy Boston fan.
It is, especially when you consider some other cities that aren't so lucky.
Oh, it's like that?
I wasn't talking about Detroit.
But you're looking at
Why
me.
would you bring up Detroit? Where else am I supposed to look?
Because I see the light bulb come on in your head.
Only the 2 of us
like,
in this room.
Of course, this is a layup. Why not bring up the fact that the Lions only won 1 playoff game in 60 years? Jim Harbaugh hasn't been able to get us to the college playoff just yet until this season. The Pistons, been struggling in and out of the playoffs. New coach this year. The Tigers. Every team I watch got former Tigers on it. David Price, you brought up one. Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw Granderson the other day.
LZ?
That's my guy, too. Detroit.
Shout out.
Jalen Rose, the Jimmy Butler drama continues on its weird, twisted path toward non-resolution. Right now, at this moment, it looks as if Jimmy Butler's going to suit up in a Timberwolves uniform and play Wednesday night. But why does he want people to boo him?
Because he doesn't want to be there much longer. And inevitably, when he's traded and comes back to play against Minnesota, they're going to boo him anyway.
Do you think Towns and Wiggins are going to boo him? Do Towns and Wiggins boo him?
They don't. What ends up happening in this dynamic, we got to look at what's best for everybody involved. The owner clearly came out and said he wanted him moved. However, Tibbs can't move him and get fair value under a rush pretense.
You need him to score like 45 points.
But Jimmy Butler, as a player, you need to come out and perform to help your value. Remember, he's a free agent at the end of this year. Mm-hmm. Because just because you trade for him,
he's a free agent expecting a max deal.
That doesn't mean that he's going to just stay with you. And so for him, he's just projecting. But here's how this works. They boo him at the beginning of the game. He gets a steal, he gets a dunk, he makes a 3, makes a good pass. Fans are knowledgeable. He plays for their team. Yep. They're ultimately going to cheer for him. He's ultimately going to take pictures, shake hands, kiss babies.
And he's ultimately going to get traded.
Ingratiate himself with the franchise. And then he's going to be moved at some point of this year.
Well, Drake and Migos tour headed into Los Angeles at the Staples Center, LeBron's new home. And Drake brought out Travis Scott to play their hit, Sicko Mode. And there it is. LeBron James comes out from behind the stage and joins Travis and Drake on stage. What do you think about this moment in the Staples Center, LeBron's new home?
I'm not mad at LeBron at all, but here's what happens with fans of sports. They could be like, he's doing all of that stuff. He need to bring the Lakers a championship. A lot of men to enjoy his offseason.
So Kevin Durant's at the halftime of a preseason game. Like the picture on Instagram. During the half.
What picture was it? That's the bigger.
No, I believe it was a picture of the artist SZA, but don't even try to read anything.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So here's my question. I could argue both sides of this.
Okay. Do that.
One side, of course I'm going to pick up my phone. I got a 20-minute break in the middle of my job. I promise every single person listening to this podcast gets a 20-minute break in the middle of their day. You're trying to tell me they're not going to pick up their phone? What are they going to sit there and just stare at the walls, meditate?
I like what you're doing.
That's what you do when you get a little respite from your job. He ain't doing it from the bench. He's doing it from the locker room where he probably keeps his phone in the charger because, they got a little charger in the locker room, little cubby there.
But like Charlie Villanueva was one of the players when he was in the league and a member of the Bucks at the time that was really active on social media during games to the point where the league came out. And the NBA always is first to basically acknowledge that players should not be posting on social media in any way, shape, or form during the game. So when Kevin Durant does like something during the game, first off, you got the rim shot available, Reg. Was it from his original account or the burner account?
It was from the original account. But here's the thing is, we know that Kevin Durant just has social habits, social media habits, and one of which, I think he just pushed the button. You're just going through.
He was speaking of the Hobbits.
Yeah, you're just speaking of the Hobbits a little bit. He pushed twice.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron James.
And just kept it moving.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about Kevin Durant.
Look at my nose. Ladies.
Hey, ladies! We love the Beastie Boys on this show.
We need your voicemails.
Yeah, we've been short on the voicemails from the ladies recently.
985-80-JALEN. Leave us a voicemail. We're going to put it on the television show on Wednesday. Leave us a short, smart voicemail. Ask us a question at the end. Doesn't have to be Coach for Regional. Doesn't have to be Soft Move or Boss Move. Just ask us a question about anything. Call 985-80-JALEN. Leave us a question. We'll put all your voicemails on the show on Wednesday. Right now, we're taking all callers like this one.
What up, Jalen and Jacoby? It's your boy, I ain't peeping my pants. Y'all know I ain't do it. Come out of Brooklyn. I got a real quick cultural or regional question, right? Eating food. I said food. Eating food off the ground. Okay? I'm actually half black, half white. And I see people more of Jacoby's complexion that's afraid to eat food off the ground. Me, that's where my white side shows up. I don't give a, I don't care if I eat food off the ground. Anyways, get back at me. Shout out Reg. Shout out the whole fam out there. All right, peace.
Universal.
No doubt.
Eating food off the ground, food doesn't taste right unless it's been on the ground. I got kids. I eat food off the ground all the time. There was a plate of grapes. My son knocked it over by accident. Put it back on top of the plate, knocked it over again. I just ate it all. I was like, I'm not even putting this up there.
But here is universal. I agree with you. But here's the distinguishing fact about eating off the ground, though. You got to see it fall.
Yeah. Clear. You
got to see it fall.
Yeah.
It can't be like, you go to work and you come back home and then you walk through the door and you eating something off the floor.
And
not that.
And you can't let
that's nasty.
You can't let the fumble just be bumping around for a while and settle in. You got to pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah, you got to see it hit the floor.
And it can't be like, again, a lot of my kids' food ends up on the ground, so I end up eating kids' food off the ground. It can't be like a sticky granola bar that's going to pick up something that's going to come with you. You know what I mean? There's a viscosity and a texture that it has to have in order to be picked up and eaten. If it's a cracker, real quick. If it's like something with like milk chocolate on the outside that could grab a little hair or a little dirt on the way up, not gonna be able to do it.
I agree.
Thank you so much for the call. Let's listen to another voicemail.
Jalen and Jacoby, what up, though? My name's Isaac, calling from the 915. About 2:30 in the morning. I gotta shout out Reg, shout out Hairline. Shout out. Jacoby Juice. Me and my brother had a discussion. He got a promotion, and we out celebrated him. And he was telling us how much he makes, and then he leaves. But the guy did not pay his tab. We had to pay his tab. I told him about it. Told him that was a soft move. He got mad at me. Hey, man, finish the discussion. Shout out El Paso. I'm out.
Shout out to this gentleman from El Paso. Big shout out to his brother that got the promotion.
No doubt.
I need to make a distinction here. Okay?
Okay.
There's many times I've left without paying the tab. But it's never intentional. You know what I mean? Like, there's been certain times, like the Uber's there, whatever, and then you leave, and then you're like 3 blocks away in the Uber. You're like, I didn't pay anybody for this. My bad. And I'll say send a follow-up text or something. I've also been to an adult establishment, like a bar. And, you know, if I'm a regular and they just like pour me something and then, oh, wait, I got to go somewhere else. Then I leave and I come back the next time. I'm like, did I not pay you last time? Like, don't worry about it. Like, I've done it. But to intentionally sneak out while they're celebrating your promotion.
First off, that's just a soft move.
If it's your birthday,
that's a soft move.
Yeah, that's a soft move.
That's a soft move. That's whack.
If you, just as long as I'm assuming it wasn't intentional.
That's lame. That's cheesy. It's corny.
I'm assuming it wasn't intentional.
It's cheap.
That's my assumption.
It's selfish. It's all of the things that you know as somebody that patronize a lot of restaurants and try to make sure I take care of those who are in the position of service at their job.
You know what's changed this?
This is unacceptable.
You know what's changed this, Jalen Rose? Yeah. And I'm sure that you don't have this on your phone.
Unacceptable.
I'm sure you don't have this on your phone, Jalen Rose. Venmo.
No, I don't.
No. Venmo has changed everything.
What is that?
You serious?
You asked me, do I have it on my phone?
Yeah.
So if I don't have it on my phone, that probably means I don't know what it is.
Okay. I'll explain. Venmo. I can just Venmo you $80 right now. Just Venmo you $100. I can just search your name and just give you money. So if you're in the cab and you realize you didn't pay, all you got to do is Venmo somebody that's $60, $80 or whatever, and it's done.
So I got advice for all of the people out there. Everybody Venmo me $5 right now.
I'll Venmo you $5. You're not on Venmo, so I can't.
I'll join for this reason.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that you're exactly the kind of charity case that we need to reach out and use the support of our listeners and our watchers for. You know, I think perhaps maybe the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy or something like that, because I don't know if we need everybody to Venmo you $5. Because there's going to be at least 20 people that do it, and then you got $100 that you feel guilty about.
Well, donate it to the school. Everybody knows that. Jacoby, you ran a marathon for the school. You shut down Family Feud. You got 173 points in the lightning round. You're a legend.
I need a classroom or something, though.
You're a legend. Do you realize how far that money goes in the dynamic? You were personally responsible for about $40,000.
That's $50K right there.
Exactly. Okay?
That goes far.
Do you know what we could... We take lemons and turn them into lemonade with that kind of money.
Good. If I wanted to support the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, where can I go, Mr. Rose?
JRLADetroit.com. We appreciate you guys' support, awareness.
What's the latest?
So here's the latest. You know, we were founded in 2011, and it was important to stagger our enrollment. For those that don't know what that means start with only 9th grade, then start with 9th and 10th, 9th, 10th through 11, 9 through 12. So now, 8 years in, we have high school seniors and collegiate seniors. We influence around 700 students. The next level for our school is now for me to try to do what I can to help get the students a state-of-the-art facility. You ever heard of the term caffeinasium?
Yeah, of course. I know the caffeinasium. No, the caffeinasium that also... It's not just the cafeteria and the gymnasium, it's also where you do the plays. Because you can't tell you how many times I've scored a layup on a fast break and then had to stop myself before getting split in half by the stage that was right there underneath the hoop. Of course I know about caffeinasiums.
We get zero state funding for our facility. So the building that we took over was actually an elementary school that converted into a high school. So little things have to be purchased that you don't realize, like larger lockers. Mm-hmm. The bathroom stalls. Just having larger human beings in the building.
Of course. Chairs, urinals need to go up.
Yes.
All of that stuff you don't even think about.
Stuff you don't even think about. Handicap accessible, like have an elevator, like all of these type of things. And so it's important right now that we take the leap as a facility, and we're trying to do what we can to get a state-of-the-art gymnasium. I would love to get a holistic space where you can do yoga and meditation and stretching. And so these are the things that we're working toward now, but the staff is doing a terrific job. The parents and the students are what it's all about, and they've invested and they've sacrificed. Our board has continued to spend its time, energy, and money. So I can say into a microphone that I am proud of what we've accomplished at the Jada Rose Leadership Academy, but clearly we still have a long ways to go.
Jalen, I want to thank everybody for calling in. Don't forget, ladies, to call in, leave us voicemails.
Hey, ladies!
985-80-Jalen. I also want to thank everybody for, thanks in advance for tweeting at Tim Kirchin, getting to the bottom of this, because we need to know where he got that tie. Because I looked at the picture of that tie. That is a very unique tie. That's not just a pink tie with some blue stripes. It's got patterns on it. Like,
it's my tie.
Tim Kirchin's wearing your tie, dog.
I got to tell people a secret. I got to tell people a secret that they may or may not know about me. It gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's fine. I don't lie. I don't lie.
That sounds like a lie.
I don't lie.
That sounds like a lie.
Tell me the last time I said a lie and you were like, you're lying.
I mean, it happens
you
once a week.
You thought I was lying
about
show. This. That's
it
what
happens once a week on this show.
Perfect example. People wouldn't believe that it was my tie if I said it. But I was like, you know what? I need to take a picture.
Yeah. I believe
because
that.
If I don't take a
I
picture.
need the evidence. You can't, your word only goes so far.
Correct.
Your word backed by evidence, that goes so far.
I was like, you know what? I need to take a picture of this.
Thank you so much for calling and for texting Tim Kirchin. We'll get to the bottom of this tomorrow. Why are we coming back tomorrow, KRS?
We're not done. We're not done. Got to give the people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.
Look at my nose.